Forgot to add this in when I was doing the little review rant thing, so I'll just add it in at the start. This was one of the first pay-per-views I've ever watched in my entire life where I nearly turned it off. I nearly turned off a live pay-per-view, and I've never done that before in my life. And it wasn't because somebody beat my favourite wrestler. It wasn't because my favourite wrestler was a champion or they were destroyed and taken advantage of by those dirty, nasty heels. It wasn't because of somebody got horribly injured and nearly died and I thought, oh, I can't be watching this. No, it was because Matt Riddle was riding around on a scooter after his match and spoke to Shinsuke Nakamura, and the things that he was talking about. Now, I don't really watch Raw. I've heard about these Riddle promos, haven't we, Nelly? We've heard about them. Make us physically sick, don't they? But I'd never actually properly really had a long form Matt Riddle talking shite promo where he's a stoner talking to Nakamura about scooters and things, and it was so bad. It was like they're portraying him as somebody who's got like something wrong with him, like he's got some sort of horrific brain injury. It was so bad that it nearly made me turn off a pay-per-view. Anyway, on to the show. This is just going to be a short review and several questions that I have concerning WWE's last pay-per-view, which was 2 nights ago, or 1 night ago, Fastlane. I'm going to put as much effort into this video as WWE's booking team seem to do booking the fucking event. It was one of the most boring, nonsensical, pointless, bland, terrible pay-per-views I've seen in a long time, and I'm just going to have a little rant to make myself feel better because I spend £10 a month on the WWE network. Luckily not in the US for Peacock, it's apparently all to fuck. But I don't watch the Raws and Smackdowns and the older things. The only things I watch are the pay-per-views, and I sometimes watch the Broken Skull sessions, which the one after Fastlane was better than Fastlane with Randy Orton, and it wasn't even that good. So, begin with the pre-show, and I watched it with the sound off because I can't listen to it. There was no JBL, so he's one of the funniest people on it. I couldn't listen to the King and Booker T, so I turned off the sound until a match started between Mustafa Ali with Retribution against Matt Riddle, and the match was alright. It was in the pre-show. I mean, the pay-per-view's short enough. I thought they could have had a 4-way fucking match for the tag team titles, maybe. Ray and his son against the dirty, filthy Mankey Dogs, against Alpha Academy, and against the Street Profits. You know, have a little 4-way thing, tag titles. Because the tag team championships on Raw and SmackDown really get a nice good fucking showing, don't they? The fucking women's only get defended every fucking month between tag teams aren't tag teams. Anyway, Riddle and Mustafa Ali had an alright match, and Riddle beat him with a tombstone Bro Derek off the top, and he won. Ali was raging, and Retribution came in, and Retribution have now split up. Come on then, Nelly. You didn't like Fastlane either, did you, Nelly? My cat Nelly, she hates fucking Fastlane as well, don't you? You've got contempt for Vince McMahon, don't they? Exactly. And then the Retribution leave, they chokeslam Ali, and then that's the end of Retribution. This evil, horrible, dirty group that was hell-bent on destroying WWE and ruining the whole company and going to be some poison injected into WWE, then got contracts with WWE and then just became a joke. And then Ali was the leader, who was meant to be the hacker, and it was just a waste of fucking time. Then we move on to the main show, and I can't even fucking remember what the first match was. I've got a funny feeling it was the women's tag team. It was! The women's tag team champions, who are still basically, I mean, they're a team now. They were a thrown together tag team. Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, who, I hate Nia Jax. Shayna Baszler's alright in small doses. They beat Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, who are feuding. Why would they want the women's tag team titles? Why did they... And then they won again. The challenger and the champion at WrestleMania got beaten again. And then Sasha Banks gave her a little slap and went, ooh. And then Bianca Belair was like, oh, ooh, point at the sign. It's like, they know they're meant to be having a big, massive fucking main event caliber match for the women's title. Is it not meant to be important? Oh, they're 3 weeks away. What sort of fucking build's this? and there's Reginald, who I actually find quite amusing. I liked him when he was with Carmella. Where's Carmella? Where's Bailey? Where's Liv Morgan? Where's all the people, fucking Billy Kay, all the fucking women on SmackDown that I actually like? God. Jesus. What do we have next? We have Biggie versus Apollo Crews. Now, Apollo Crews has got an accent now, and a spear. Now, I don't really watch Raw or SmackDown. I catch little highlights. I watch Cultaholic, and I watch Wrestling with Regret to get my Raw and SmackDown updates and information, because I'm not sitting through 5 hours of that dog shit every week. But Apollo Crews has got an accent. I just watch pay-per-views, and even then it's a struggle. It's a struggle to not top yourself watching the pay-per-views. Apollo Crews has got a spear, and him and Biggie. And this is another point. There's an awful lot of people fucking shouting the plot of the matches. Biggie was shouting, Apollo was shouting, Sheamus was shouting, Sasha Banks was shouting. Who else was shouting? Somebody else was shouting. Who else was it? Maybe in the main event? Oh, that's who it was. Roman Reigns was shouting. Just, I get it, I understand that you've got to get the story across, there's no crowd, but just tone it down a lot. Everybody was fucking shouting. I was like, I get it. And then the finish, it just seemed like a fuck up, really. These things happen, but it just kind of ended instantly. Apollo's shoulders are pinned to the mat, the referee counts 3, which the referees are told to do, and then Biggie won. So he's beat Apollo about 69 times. And then Apollo's going to angle slam them a couple of times, and he's going to fight for WrestleMania in a match I couldn't give a fuck about. And is Apollo going to win? No. What's the point? What did we have next? It was only last night and I can't fucking remember. Oh yes. Shane McMahon got injured in a ring with boxing gloves on. And Elias and Jackson Ryker, you think they would put Jackson Ryker with Elias because they want to push Elias. Look, he's got this muscle behind him. Give Elias a little push. But he's only probably on, you know, Raw once every year and a main event every 3 months. And so he's like, oh Shane, I want to sing at WrestleMania. He already had that. He already sang at WrestleMania when he was against John Cena, remember? Remember that classic? When Undertaker beat Cena in about 5 minutes. Even less than that, about a minute and a half. Anyway, so Elias basically gets thrown in Shane's position and then he just gets battered by Braun. Like, by this point, it just felt like it was an episode of Raw. A show which I can't even watch. It was just like a short, crap episode of Raw. Elias versus Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman beat him and oh, we're going to get Shane and Braun at WrestleMania. Thank the Lord for that. Pouring slime on him and calling him stupid and playing hopscotch. I just don't... It's the thing when you watch so much independent wrestling, so much good independent wrestling, or Japanese wrestling, or fucking even AEW, and you watch WWE and you just think, what the fuck is this? Just dog shit. So that was the Shane Braun thing, set up another match for Mania, and at this point, there is a ICW No Holds Barred show on the Saturday, which would run at the same time as WrestleMania Night 1, and I was going to just play WrestleMania on my TV, have No Holds Barred on my PC, and try and watch between them, but I don't think I'm going to watch WrestleMania Night 1 now, because I just couldn't give a fuck. I don't care about any of it. I don't care. Seth Rollins beat Nakamura, which was a good match, but I just kept zoning out, looking at my phone, because Seth Rollins hates Cesaro because he's wasted potential, which is basically WWE saying, oh, we've wasted Cesaro's potential for all these years. Good job, WWE. And then Rollins won. You knew he was going to win. And then that was it. Great. It's fantastic. Massive achievement that match was. The best match of the night, Drew McIntyre defeated Sheamus in a no holds barred match. Why did they not make it last man standing match or falls count anywhere? Because the match they had on Raw was no DQ, and no DQ is just a no holds barred match. When they're brawling around and they go off the thing and Sheamus gives Drew a kryptonite crunch off the thing through the table and you think, ooh, we could pin him outside and win. But if Sheamus did win, what's the point? Sheamus isn't going to WrestleMania. It would make so much more sense if they just made Bryan, Edge, Roman a three-way, which they might do, and they made Sheamus, Drew, Bobby Lashley a three-way. Or made that match between Drew and Sheamus #1 contenders match. But they didn't do any of that because Drew's going, so why did he fight Sheamus? And then he was sitting there going, and then he was, you owe me back. And Drew won, and a tiny bit of wood from the announce table. Oh my god, the humanity. After the match we saw from fucking Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa compared to a bit of wood from the announce table. Whoa, so impactful. Oh, fucking Jesus Christ. And Sheamus lost, and what's Sheamus going to do at WrestleMania? Probably nothing. Probably be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and probably lose. Poor fucking Sheamus, he should be in one of the main events. Now, we hurtle to the semi-main event. Alexa Bliss against Randy Orton, which was just a cinematic match, but a real match. She was throwing fireballs and dancing about and looking creepy and and she tried to drop a fucking lighting rig on his head and then got in the ring, and then the Fiend came back, but the Fiend's all burnt. The Fiend actually looks quite cool, but I mean, we've got 3 months of build up for this. Puking up treacle or slime or bile or afterbirth or whatever it was coming out of Randy Orton's mouth. Fake fireballs and fake Randy Orton's talking shite and Alexa Bliss skipping about, and Alexa Bliss beat Randy Orton on pay-per-view. I don't know what I expected. I expected more or less what this would happen. I didn't even think they were going to even have a match. I didn't think the bell rang. And then she pinned Randy Orton, the Fiend's back, gave him a Sister Abigail, and the Fiend's all burnt and creepy. Woohoo! So there's no intrigue or interest or sort of excitement for WrestleMania, because you're like, oh right, Randy Orton's going to fight the Fiend, isn't he? We knew that 3 months ago. Oh right, is he going to fight me at WrestleMania? Oh yeah, yes, oh great, well, we knew that. That's what was it going to be, Firefly Funhouse. Oh, Bray will win, oh. Woo, I'm so excited, I can't wait for WrestleMania. This is meant to be the big WrestleMania, the comeback, all the fans in, yeah, woo, big huge matches. What have we fucking got? New Day against Omos and AJ Styles. I don't even care about Edge and Roman anymore. Fucking hell. Oh, and finally we get to the main event of this very short, terrible, bland, awful. What's the point in Fastlane? They've already had Elimination Chamber, another pointless pay-per-view. They have to book themselves into a corner like Hell in a Cell. We've got to have a chamber match. We've got to have Hell in a Cell. We've got to have tables, ladders and chairs. They've got to have Money in the Bank. Just have Money in the Bank at Mania. It makes more sense. Gives all these people something to do, like Sheamus or whatever. Put themselves into a corner with Fastlane. We've got to have these matches. They didn't need to have any of these matches. They didn't need to have this pay-per-view. They didn't even need to have Elimination Chamber. They don't need to, what's the point? Stop it. But they're never going to stop, because Vince McMahon, and he's off his nut. The main event was Bryan against Roman Reigns, which was a good match. Bryan was doing awful lots of smirking at Roman Reigns, out wrestling him. I mean, the match was good for what it was, but then Edge was the special enforcer. In my 25 years of watching wrestling, I've never seen an enforcer suddenly become the referee. Why didn't they just make him the special referee? What's the point in that? When Edge came in and started counting, I thought he was trying to be sarcastic. I thought he was trying to be like, oh yeah Roman, I've counted the pin for you, but it doesn't count. I didn't know that. And they just sort of announced that. They never said that before the match. Oh, he's the enforcer, oh right, is he? Oh, well great, thanks for telling us, commentary team, or WWE. And then towards the end of the match, Jimmy Uso comes down as he always does, and he super kicked Edge and done this, and Daniel Bryan, there was a chair in the ring. Daniel Bryan inadvertently hit Roman Reigns with the Edge with the chair, sorry, not Roman Reigns, hit Edge with the chair, and then Edge was like, ooh, and he attacked Bryan and Roman, and he stormed off in a huff, because he's Edge, who's had about 69,000 tables, ladders and chairs matches and ladder matches and brutal matches and last man standing matches, and he got hit with a chair by mistake, and he's had enough. He just looked like a right cunt. And then Bryan got covered by Roman, and that was it. That was Fastlane. Woo! So I mean, I assume Bryan's going to get put in the WrestleMania thing, and I assume he's not going to win, and Edge is going to win, and it's just all going to be such a waste of time. And you think WWE's got so much talent on the roster, I mean, and they just do absolutely nothing with them. Where's Kevin Owens? Where's Sami Zayn? I quite like Baron Corbin. Where's Baron Corbin? Where's Cesaro? Oh, is he hurt? Is he? Oh, he's hurt. Where's Bayley? Liv Morgan? Sonya Deville's not wrestling. It's just, even the Dirty Dogs or the World Tag Team Champions, what are they doing? There's no tag teams on fucking Raw. what's Sheamus going to do? It's just, everything's just such a fucking mess. And we're 3 weeks away from the biggest show of the year. Ugh. I give Fastlane a fucking F. Because it was shit. Fucking shit. And I wish this might sound like me ranting and raving, but it really was. I felt bad for paying my £10 a month to sit and watch that. And then I watched the Broken Skull sessions and I thought, this is quite entertaining. I completely forgot that I'd even watched Fastlane. I had to even look up the card afterwards because I'd forgotten what had even happened. That might be the alcohol abuse throughout my entire career of watching wrestling, but I mean, I don't remember what happened. I watched Fastlane sober, so I don't remember a fucking thing from it. I remember Randy Orton sitting drinking Jack Daniels, but Fastlane, what's the point? And then Raw's tonight. And by the time this video's out, it'll be after Raw, and who knows what other fantastical matches will we get announced for it. Ooh. Ugh. Anyway, until next time, this has been Fastlane, a review, and several questions about why are these things happening. Ugh.